Hey y'all, welcome to Degrassi Class of Nostalgia. I'm Amber,
And I'm Michaela.
and today we're gonna talk about our favorite season.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, first of
First of
all,
all, I
before
want to say happy
I was
holidays.
but today is actually Christmas Eve when we filming this. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Happy
And
New Year.
yeah, Happy New Year. This is actually gonna be the first video of the new year. So starting off right. Also, I joined the blue light glasses club. I got me some glasses because I have lights on my face all day, every day. So gotta try something because your girl be having migraines and headaches, and I don't need that. So I can't tell y'all if it works. Yeah, I haven't used it enough yet, but I definitely say I've had less severe migraines. So if you've been thinking about getting them, that's what I would say.
Alrighty, y'all ready to get it started? Get it
Um,
started.
I just want to point out I didn't know sort of research this time, and apparently Amber has done a lot of research.
I didn't
So
do a
we're
lot.
gonna. Well, you was like, "Oh, I made sure I was prepared today," and I'm like, "Oh, I did the opposite. I literally didn't do anything. I literally just
If
came
y'all,
and
if y'all don't notice,
showed up."
Michaela seems like she's always prepared, and I don't seem like I'm prepared. So I was like, "Oh, we doing seasons. I gotta at least know what's my favorite season." So I mean, I know the highlights, but I didn't go like into depth. When I saw the episode guide and all that, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is definitely my favorite season." So
That's true.
it wasn't hard. So
That's good. So you can definitely start us off since the you got the stuff. You got the good stuff. And mine's probably just gonna be like, I like this season.
well, first of all, I got kind of the cast of the season that's my favorite. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, that actually looked kind of cool. It looked like one of those movies like Honey I Shrunk the Kids. That was good angle. She gave us a movie shot.
My bad. I kicked my camera stand when I did that. My bad, and I
Oh.
hurt my ankle. But favorite season, my favorite season is season 6. First of all, the theme song is my favorite. Y'all already know the one where they all like in the little. They had the little blue background, and then they do this. Spinner, my favorite one, and then Sean like that's that's the best theme song. I feel like Marco at the end like um. So yeah, and then of course that was the last season of JT York with his mascot because this is the season where he dies. I didn't
That's sad.
realize that. Yeah. So
And this is your favorite
yeah,
season.
definitely. Yeah. I mean it's not my favorite season because JT dies.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, this is your favorite season. That's so sad.
Yeah. But I want to first get into the first couple episodes, and that's when Sean comes back, which I talked about before. Um, Here comes your man when we saw Peter being his most douchebag self. So that was perfect to me. And that's when Sean came back and they did that infamous kiss where he bit her lip and stuff like that. So that was first. We start off with a bang on this season. And I didn't even realize this also was the season where we get more Alex storylines, and Alex actually becomes a stripper. Like she was a waitress at the club first, and then
She
becomes a
become a
stripper because
stripper,
that
get
was
that money.
yeah, it was more money. So I was like, oh, we get more Alex storylines on this one. Also like that. And then apparently Craig, that's when he start his little drug binge. Like he started doing drugs. Manny okay with the lifestyle, but at least not because Manny still wanted to be with him at this time. and this when he had his little band thing. I'm pretty sure this is the season where he has that nosebleed as well.
That's true.
So yeah, a
I'm
lot
not for
happens
sure.
this season. A lot happens, and I didn't even know that. I thought this was more of a three season stuff. All the stuff that I just said happened in three different seasons, but no, it all happened in one season. And I feel like the reason why I like it is because not only did we have more storylines for Alex, so we saw Alex more. I felt like she was coming into her own character, but Sean came back, and Sean's like one of my favorite people. Um, we saw JT trying to get Liberty back, even though unfortunately he dies. That was also going to be great if they got back together.
But
Um,
technically, the whole season wasn't him trying to get Liberty back. It was like one episode.
yeah, I know that, but I mean, you saw it though. You saw the episode
That's true.
when he was trying to get her back. I know he was worrying about Mia or something around that time, but we not going to talk about her. She's not. She's not going to be mentioned on my favorite season, even though she was there. She's not going to be mentioned.
Wait, was
Um,
this like the first season that Lakehurst, that school, like came to Degrassi?
yes,
That was a good rivalry.
yes. Lakehurst is coming to you. Um, so we got all our favorite people: Anya, Sav, Holly J,
Oh my
Jane.
gosh. You realize how many people would have never been on the show if they never, well, I'm pretty sure them characters would still be on the show, but like if they never did that storyline and like people didn't come from another school, that would have been weird. Like
I
if
think
none of those
Davian was part
people.
of that too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Him.
Jane
His tail.
and was there anybody else? I think you said everybody else.
We said Jane twice.
Oh, you said Jane?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
We got to mention her twice. That's fine.
That's true. She's the best person that came from Lakehurst, to be honest. Other
That's
than
true.
maybe Sav, I guess it depends on what you're going off of. For me, I would say Jane's the best person that came from Lakehurst. I feel like I could have lived without Sav, but I do like Sav. He's second.
So yeah, just thinking about the theme song and then the whole storyline of the whole season is definitely the reason why I love this season. Um, if anything, I think this season was the start, like this really start of when I started watching Degrassi. Um,
Oh yeah.
like new episodes because I got into it the daycare that I went to. Yeah, I was that young.
And it was the end. It was still called the end.
That was yes, we was the Teen Nick was called the end by then. Yeah. So yeah, that was definitely interesting. It had other good shows as well.
It really did.
But that's my season. That was pretty quick.
That was pretty quick, but that's good. I like season 6. I just think I don't watch it that much because even though I don't know if this, from my recollection, I think the first episode I watched was when JT died, which is sad. And so my sister was watching it and some people at the daycare was watching it. So I was only watching like one or two episodes. I guess I wasn't really like a Degrassi person yet. Like I didn't really start watching new episodes. I only really watched it maybe once or twice at that time. And of course, I think the episode where JT died was one of the first episodes that I watched. And so yeah, I don't try to go back and watch season 6 just because it's like traumatic. But I do really like the season. I love the theme song. I definitely think it's like my first, second. I wouldn't say I mean, I really like the theme songs where they like really do show each person in their element, but the cringe, but also like the iconicness of the season 6. Was it for 2 seasons? Was it season 6 and season 7, or was it just season 6?
I think it was season 5, 6, 7. If I'm
Oh, okay. Still top, it's at least top 2. So of the theme songs. And so yeah, I do
remember,
really
they had
like,
Lakers people added to the last season that they had that theme song.
yeah, so okay. And Yeah. And also the end was amazing. I wish I like Teen Nick, and I guess because I'm not technically a teenager no more, I don't watch it anymore because like a lot of the shows aren't even geared towards teenagers no more. Like I ain't trying to get off topic, but like the Teen Nick is so much like Nickelodeon shows. Like they put like the Thundermans and Henry Danger, which I don't know, maybe those are considered teen shows, but when you look back at the teen shows we had, or like at my age when I was like a kid, but I was watching the end, and the shows that they showed on the end was way different than the shows they show on Teen Nick because
Yeah.
the shows on the end was like, what was it? The college years, undeclared,
Hmm.
of course, Degrassi, like shows like that went into like serious issues. Whereas like Zoe 101, like I said, the Thundermans, Henry Danger, stuff like that, they don't really touch serious topics.
Yeah.
So I don't compare them. And I feel like T Nick was trying to be like the end, but they ended up just making it like another Nickelodeon or something like that, which is fine. But it's like if you want to make like a channel that's going to be geared towards teenagers and trying to help them, growing up, let them watch like these good shows. I feel like they should have kept with those type of shows. Like those would have. I feel like Teen Nick really would have, you know, grew. I feel like not that many
Yeah.
people watch Teen Nick as much as they did when it first became Teen Nick. But
Yeah. Yeah,
like I
definitely.
said, I
Because
wasn't trying to get off topic.
now I'm watching, like, when I do watch Teen Nick, it's more like Nick Rewind because they do old Nickelodeon shows like 90s
That's true.
cartoons. So, like, that's the only time I watch Teen Nick now. I mean, the last show I think I watched on Teen Nick that wasn't Nick Rewind with Dance Academy when they had the
Oh yeah, that's true. But see,
Australian
that
show from Teen Nick. That was the last show I watched.
that was kind of a good, but that's kind of when Teen Nick first started. Because I feel like
Yeah.
that was the show that showed like serious topics and stuff like that. So yeah, dang, that's the last time you watched it. I think I at least watched like Zoe 101 and stuff before it
I
became
mean,
on
I
like
watched
streaming services.
Zoe 101 and Drake and Josh, but it wasn't no new episodes, because Zoe 101 and Drake and Josh already came out by then.
Oh, so you saying like a new show that
Yeah,
you
like
watched
new.
on Teen Nick? Oh, okay. But then yeah, same. It would have been Dance Academy. I thought you were saying like stuff that the last thing I was say the last thing I watched on Teen Nick in general was probably like well, if we're not counting Nick Rewind, was probably Zoe 101 or something
Yeah. They
before
don't
it
even
got on
play that
streaming
no more.
services. Yeah, now you can watch it on like Paramount Plus or something. So
Mhm.
but okay, so I'm not necessarily going to talk about my favorite season today just because y'all know what my favorite season is. It's season 10. And I love that season. I talk about it all the time. And literally, we're going to do a Shark in the Water episode. So I don't feel the need to like keep talking about it. Like, y'all know at this point, it's my favorite season. And so the only thing I want to say about season 10, though, is that I really love, which I feel like I always talk about when I talk about season 10, but I love how they really like rebranded the show to try to make it like for newer audiences. And since I already watched the show, because like I said, I did watch a couple episodes when Amber started watching it, but I didn't really start like watching it myself until like maybe season 8 or season 9. So that switch into more like modern teenagers and different characters, I really like that whole thing. So that's all I'm gonna say about season 10, just because, like I said, y'all already know I love the season. That's my favorite season. But my second favorite season, which is a season I don't really talk about a lot because I don't know why I don't talk about it, but I do kind of talk about it on social media, the Degrassi social media, or at least I talk about this season the most, and that's season 3. And I don't know if that's like surprising, but I really like season 3 because we go from seeing the, in my opinion at least, I feel like we go from seeing like a lot of our favorite characters really grow up and be high schoolers and go through that drama. Like I feel like it's realistic drama that you would have in high school. Like, so we see Manny's makeover, we see the love
If I
triangle
said that, the
between,
only one.
yeah, like so we can see Manny's makeover, her go from like, I don't want to be cute anymore, I want to be sexy, or I want to be, I forgot what she said, but she said I don't want to be known as cute anymore. And so we saw that, we saw her, Craig and Ashley have that weird Craig cheating on him, being a horrible boyfriend sort of thing. And then Manny getting pregnant and choosing not to keep the baby. And I feel like that was really what like made season 3 such a his like iconic season, because not a lot of shows touched on the subject. And I know some people may agree or not agree with what she did, but I do think that I like how they brought it to attention. Like, this is something that's going on in the world that needs to be talked about, that's never talked about. And it's still today, like, not a lot of shows that talk about it, but I do like that they brought it up, especially to younger audiences. Like, I don't think, of course, I watched it when it came out, because, like I said, we didn't really start watching it till like the later seasons. But when I did go back and watch that, I was like, wow. Like, I don't know what age I was. I know I was still kind of young when I watched that episode, but I do think it was something important that my age, teenagers, older people, everybody needed to see. And so I really like how they handled that episode. Also, we got to see Emma and Sean kind of get closer. Like, at the beginning of the season, I think the first at least 2 episodes, it was about Sean and Emma, but then they end up breaking up because Sean, which was like, I think that's the worst like character arc for Sean, was like when he went through that I'm a thug type phase. Like, he had the hat on and he had like this, he wore the same outfits every day. And I don't know if that's because he was living alone, his brother had just left. I don't know if he was poor technically, but he was going through like this weird,
Eminem phase. That's why I called it.
yeah, like it was weird. I didn't like it. But that is when him and Jay started being friends, which I kind of sort of like their friendship. Like I said, I always talk about how I feel like Jay treated Spinner way better than he treated Sean. But also, I go back to what Amber said when she said, I think Jay treated Sean more as a brother, whereas Spinner was just like his friend. And so that could have been how it is. But I did kind of like the friendship or
And
whatever.
I also said that was a dude thing because I would never
Yeah.
treat I would never treat you the way he treated Sean.
And I'm like kind of surprised that, I mean, I'm not fully surprised. I think it's weird to me how Sean treated the friendship, because I think he always knew that Jay had his back and like he could trust Jay. But then at the same time, I feel like he never wanted to be around Jay. Like, he kind of didn't like his personality in a way. But he was like, I know at the end of the day, if I need somebody to give me money, if I need somewhere to sleep, if I need someone to talk to, Jay's going to be there. And so not saying like he only was friends with him to use him, but I'm just saying, like, how you have a friend and you kind of annoyed by that friend, but at the same time, y'all been friends for so long that like at the end of the day, you got their back and they got your back. It's kind of more like that. It's not necessarily like I hate this dude, but he the only person that's there for me. But also, Amber is not gonna love this, but Sally was also on that season, I believe. Sean and Ellie. So also really like that. That's when they were like dating. I'm assuming that's when they started. Oh yeah, so that's when the Breakfast Club episode, that was a great episode. That was also during season 3. And yeah, I also just really like to see the characters that we loved, like that we started seeing in the first 2 seasons, just grow up. Because like a lot of the topics that they touched on, I felt like most people at that time, even people like teenagers today, I feel like still can relate to season 3. I feel like season 3 is the most relatable season. Maybe not necessarily like you can pinpoint um it's not like necessarily like everybody went through something in season 3, but at least one character or one specific topic in that season, you can go back and be like, I can relate to that. Like, even I think this was in season 3, Liberty being like, "Oh, I'm a badass now" and stuff like that. I can relate to that because I be cringe like that sometimes. Like sometimes I'm like, I'm tired of everybody seeing me as this smart, cute, like little girl. Like I want people to notice me and see me not just as that, but then you go back and realize like, but I am smart and I know I look like a little girl, but at the end of the day, like I know who I am. It don't matter. And so that's why I really like season 3. Like I'm pretty sure if you go back and watch season 3, it's going to be something in that season that you're going to go back to and be like, I can relate to that. Or I know somebody who went through that, certain things like that. So that's why I think season 3 is my second favorite season
I mean,
because
if you think
it,
about it,
it's
I
it's
think
it's just it's as close to perfect as season 10 in my opinion.
I mean, going off what you're saying, I think the beginning seasons of Degrassi always relatable. I think as the seasons go on, it gets less relatable. Not trying to get off on Degrassi. I mean, I don't see that as a negative because, like I've said before, when I watch TV, I want to be taken away from life. I don't want to be reminded that life is hard. And when I watch TV, I want to be in a fantasy world sometimes. So I
You
don't know.
feel like Degrassi is not relatable?
I was saying,
Because I'm like, shows like Riverdale and stuff, compared to that, Degrassi's
oh
realistic.
my gosh, we're not comparing that. But I was saying Degrassi as a whole. I was saying as the seasons went on, it's becoming the topics become less relatable. That's all I was saying.
To
I'm
you
not
or in
saying that,
general?
huh?
To you or in general?
I'm just saying to me, in my opinion, I feel like they
Uh,
become less relatable. I'm not saying that what you said was right. I feel like season 3 was one of the most relatable seasons. That's why I'm saying I'm agreeing with you. But I'm saying even the season that I said, that's relatable too. But also like that Alex storyline was kind of like, I don't know if I can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that's what I was saying as the seasons went on, the storylines become more less relatable. It's kind of like I don't think that will ever happen. I
I
mean,
see
it
what you're
could,
saying.
but I don't know. And I was saying I prefer that because when I go into when I watch TV, I don't want to be thinking about life. I want to be thinking about a fantasy world and taking a break from life. So that's why I was saying that I prefer that than it being more relatable. I mean, sometimes I'm okay with a relatable story and, you know, I want to relate to that, but other times I'm like, give me something different. I've seen that before. I know how that's going to end. So
Uh,
that's what I was saying.
I don't know. I just feel like with season 3, I do think it's the most relatable. But to me personally, I don't think it's like, I don't know. I'm not trying to say what you said specifically, but I don't think it's like I'm going into like a fantasy world. I don't think it goes that deep into like being like more dramatic. I still think it's relatable like the rest of the seasons. I just don't think it's as, I definitely do think from like season 1 to season 4 it is like the most relatable, but then yeah, it do kind of does get dramatic, but I still think it's relatable. Like I don't know, when I think of I'm going into a fantasy world type thing, I'm thinking about like, oh, this random thing is gonna happen, this random thing is gonna happen. Like I still think the topics they talk about could still happen. I just think they kind of exaggerate it so that people can understand it more, but I still do think it's kind of real. I do still think it could be relatable in a sense. I just don't relate to every single thing compared to like season 3 where I can at least go to episode and be like, oh, I can relate to this or something like that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think all the seasons are great. Of course, then we wouldn't be doing a whole podcast about it. But I definitely do think that you could probably ask any Degrassi fan, they probably don't have the same favorite season or the same favorite episodes and stuff. Because there's so many episodes and so many characters, and like it's so much to pay attention to that everybody interprets it differently. So that kind of goes into, I don't know if we ended it there, but that kind of goes into what we're going to be talking about for our next episode. So our next episode, we're kind of doing like a Black character analysis. And so as Black women, we wanted to do an episode particularly for that because I feel like the Black culture and Black women weren't really, that was like the least, I wouldn't say it wasn't talked about at all, but it was like the least talked about on the series. And I know we didn't watch like the series before Degrassi Next Generation, Next Class, but we're gonna kind of focus more on, you know, the stuff we watched. And, you know, maybe if we do go back, it might be different. But from what we watched, you know, there wasn't as many Black characters that were at the main focus, and there weren't especially a lot of Black women, and if there were, it was kind of like, I don't know, you're going to see when we talk about it. But yeah, that's going to be our next episode. So unless Amber want to say anything else.
Yeah, just to touch on the Black topic, definitely probably gonna talk about each character. That's how limited it is. Probably gonna have enough time to talk about each character. And to me, I think going in depth on, I think we not only gonna go in depth about it, but I think we also gonna say what ifs and kind of touch on what they could have done and all that. I feel like we
Yeah,
talked about what they could have done with some characters anyway, but like just in more in depth and more detail about it, because to be honest, they could have really, they missed the mark on a lot of these Black characters on Degrassi. They really
yeah,
did. So justice
yeah.
for all the Black characters.
Exactly, for real. So I know this was kind of a quick episode, but like we kind of mentioned at the beginning, this is Christmas Eve for us. And so I hope everyone had a great holiday, great New Year's. This is the first episode of the new year, starting it off right. And so I hope you enjoy your holidays.
Daily, your monthly dose of Degrassi class and nostalgia.
Exactly. So oh, also this month is my birthday. So
Oh,
all right, so we will see y'all next time. Bye.
okay. Bye.